Hi, Tom Burmeyer here from hypothyroidismrevolution.com, and today we're going to talk about hypothyroidism treatment, how to properly treat hypothyroidism and what works well for our clients. But we're also going to talk about what doesn't work well. We're going to talk about some even potentially harmful hypothyroidism treatments that I would say the vast majority of people are using today. And it really stems around the idea that people want this quick fix solution. They want to pop a pill and solve their thyroid issues. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You're not hypothyroid because you're deficient in pills. You're hypothyroid because there's physiologically a dysfunction within your body that you need to correct. And the whole idea of simply popping a pill to correct dysfunction is just not, it's not valid. It does not work that way. You have to get to the underlying cause of the problem in order to fix it. So let's get right into it. The first potentially harmful hypothyroidism treatment out there is iodine supplementation. So what's the problem with iodine supplementation? Well, we know that iodine deficiency is a cause of hypothyroidism. It is a cause of goiter, but is that really an issue today? And the answer is no. It used to be an issue, it used to be much more prevalent, especially more mountainous regions because, where you have soil that's deficient in iodine. So people were eating foods grown in iodine deficient soil, so they weren't getting enough iodine in their diet. Plus, overall, their diets were relatively poor. Now, today we have industrialized farming practices. We have plenty of iodine in our soil. We have plenty of iodine in the foods that we eat. The government's even putting iodine in salt, in breads, and in all of these foods that people are eating every single day just to make sure that you don't become deficient in iodine. So, the FDA recommends 150 micrograms per day. That's what the maximum healthy dosage that they recommend. Now, if you look online, if you look anywhere, even natural health practitioners are all recommending and oftentimes large doses of iodine in order to help people overcome hypothyroidism. But we're talking about milligrams. A milligram is 1,000 micrograms. So people are getting thousands and thousands of times the daily recommended amounts. And not only is this just not useful, it's harmful. There is what's called iodine toxicity. When you get too much iodine, it not only becomes toxic to your thyroid and helps and starts to shut your thyroid down, making you more hypothyroid, but it really negatively affects your overall health. I mean, this is something that is quite harmful. So you have to be very careful. I do not recommend iodine supplementation. I don't recommend going out and trying the latest and greatest supplement or pill that somebody puts out because it's supposed to help. We really need to get to the underlying cause. The next topic we're going to talk about, potentially harmful treatment for hypothyroidism, are T4 only medications. So what is the problem with T4 only medications and why are they potentially harmful? Well, to answer that question, let's look at a little bit at the physiology of the thyroid and how it works. Now, your thyroid gland produces mostly inactive T4 thyroid hormone, but it also produces a little bit of active T3 thyroid hormone, and your liver needs that T3 to function properly, to store the sugar, to store the nutrients that it needs in order to convert the T4, the inactive T4 thyroid hormone, into the active T3 thyroid hormone that your cells need and your cells use. So as you become hypothyroid to begin with, your liver automatically, it's very common to develop liver dysfunction. And your liver's not storing these nutrients, and all we're doing is just adding more and more inactive T4 thyroid hormone that your body, that your liver can't convert into the active form. So we get this buildup effect, which then tells your thyroid to downregulate and can basically worsen your thyroid function, causing you to become more hypothyroid. So this whole process is very detrimental, or can be detrimental to your health. So you really have to focus on liver health, on correcting the underlying dysfunction, correcting the underlying physiology so that this entire chain of events can happen properly. So now that we discussed two of these potentially harmful common hypothyroidism treatment options, let's talk about what really does work. So how do you properly treat hypothyroidism? Well, it's really about restoring equilibrium or restoring balance to the entire system. This is why pills simply don't work. You can't just take a pill or take a hormone and expect that hormone to just magically go solve all the problems. No, we have to correct it on multiple levels. We have to correct the entire physiology, the entire dysfunction. So for starters, number one, we need to correct the issue that's going on with your liver. If your liver is dysfunctional, which is very common with hypothyroidism, then we just talked about how it can't convert the inactive T4 thyroid hormone into the active T3 thyroid hormone that your cells need. So we need to make sure your liver is well nourished. We need to make sure it has all of the nutrients that it needs in order to make this conversion, in order to support and get this thyroid hormone, this T3 active T3 thyroid hormone to your cells. Number two, we need to talk about other foods. You know, there's lots of other potentially very thyroid inhibiting foods out there. We need to cut those out of your diet. You've got to be aware of what you're eating and how it affects your physiology, how it makes you feel. There's so many foods out there that not only just suppress your thyroid gland, but you know, they're blocking thyroid hormone in your bloodstream. They're blocking it at the cellular level, so that even if you know we do get past your liver and thyroid hormone is getting to your cells, it might be, you know, a lot of these foods are blocking it at the cell, so you're still not getting it. It's still making you hypothyroid. So a lot of focus has to be put on these foods. And lastly, we need to really focus on restoring equilibrium or restoring balance to the entire hormonal system. We need to promote the very protective hormones that your thyroid needs to properly function. You know, your thyroid is not just dependent upon thyroid hormone. You know, we have other things. We talked about excessive estrogen and the role that it plays in suppressing your thyroid gland. Well, progesterone actually is one of the most protective hormones that your body makes, but it actually helps to promote these proteolytic enzymes and to promote your thyroid gland to secrete the thyroid hormone. But if you have excessive estrogen, most women are also progesterone deficient. So this is just one example of many, but we need to restore all of these protective hormones that help your thyroid function instead of focusing just on thyroid hormone alone. Well, those are three tips. That's pretty much what we do. You know, we're focusing on foods, we're focusing on the liver, we're focusing on restoring proper hormonal function, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of why popping a pill, whether it's an iodine supplement or a T4 only medication, why that just doesn't work.